Hello, you. It's me. And I get this pic from a clip from the video that Becca Scoops just did. Gypsy showing, hello, she's back again, and she's doing her morning routine. It looks like she's trying to be a influencer again. This clip goes on to, she's making coffee, and then she's sitting in one of those bench swings that you get on a porch, and she's swinging back and forth while drinking her coffee and having a relaxing morning. And then, baby change, gotta change that diaper. And of course, the trash where the baby diapers go is really neat and tidy. Everything is exceptionally neat, clean, and tidy. And I had just one child, and my home was never quite that clean and tidy. Because baby played, and baby had a tummy ache, baby's bottle leaked, there's so many things that can happen. And you do your best, you run around, you clean up everything that you can, you put the baby down for a little nap, and that's when you do the dishes, or, sometimes you take a little nap yourself, or, you figure things out. And I didn't see that. It was just a very influencer type video of her morning, and she showed Aurora the baby, who did look bigger, and which made me wonder if maybe a lot of her videos were just like, pre-filmed videos, so the baby was smaller and younger, but she posted it at like 7 months or 8 months. I mean, that's probable. That can happen. But anyway, she's thumbing her nose at everybody. See, the baby is here. The baby is real. I'm playing with the baby. I just spent money on a new baby thing, even though I had one before, but it wasn't the right material. It was plastic, and this one isn't. And so I replaced it, and la 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 la. She just goes on. And of course, she's even got the influencer hair, the long, big waves kind of hair that she purchased, apparently. Because I was wondering, people kept saying that it was a really expensive wig, and I'm like, well, how do you know it's expensive? How do you know? I can't tell the difference between a $20 wig and a $120 wig. They all just kind of look the same to me. And that's no offense to anybody, but they just all look the same to me. Well, apparently Gypsy was promoting this wig company that she got her wig from. And the wig prices start at like $2,000. Now, I don't know how much she spent. Maybe she got a discount because she's promoting the wig company. I don't know if they would give her a free wig, because $2,000 is quite a bit. But I thought she was broke. Wasn't she saying that she was broke and struggling for money and was selling her artwork so that she could feed her baby? And why is it always feeding her baby formula and not feeding her baby, I don't know, cereal or smashed bananas or, baby food? What the heck? Or make your own baby food. That's fine too. I did that. Sometimes I just bought baby food. But it's still, none of it rings true. It just doesn't ring true. And this perfect influencer morning, I mean, that's a lovely thing, being able to, I don't know what you do with it. You chop up the beans with a little thing, And, so you have fresh beans for your coffee and all. I mean, that's lovely. I don't see anything wrong with that. But wouldn't that noise maybe wake up the baby? I don't know. Maybe the baby sleeps very soundly. Who knows? But, or maybe she's far enough away from the baby where the baby's sleeping that the baby won't hear it. I don't know. But to me, it just brings up like a lot of things. And also, when you have a baby in the house, I don't know that I would want to go sit outside in the little rocker bench thing and hang out and relax while I drink my coffee, knowing that my baby might be inside getting upset or crying or something. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But I wouldn't leave a baby in the house while I'm outside. I would bring the baby with me, or at least have like a monitor there so that I can hear the baby, so I know the baby's okay. I don't know, maybe I was just a really paranoid mother, but but it's an innocent, sweet little baby who can't fend for themselves. So I just feel like you would want to make sure that the baby is always in your sights and you're always able to hear them, which I didn't see in this perfect little, mommy morning. So I don't know. Things like this irritate me because they just don't ring true. Now, if you could see like a baby monitor next to her while she's rocking or something, that seems more legitimate, because that seems like, oh yeah, she's still listening for when the baby wakes up. But I don't know. And is she in the house by herself? Because it looked like it. Where's Ken? Maybe Ken was taking care of the baby so that she could have a moment to herself. That could be too. But none of that was shown or explained, which is so very typical of Gypsy and everything that she does. She does everything very half-assed. So there's so many questions. What's going on with this and that? And of course she never answers. Or she says, oh, well, I didn't think I'd have to explain it. The baby was sleeping and it was really close so I could hear her. Or Ken was taking care of the baby. Or we don't really have a baby. Or the baby was with one of the relatives. I don't know which one because I don't really have time to take care of a baby. Who knows what the excuse could be. But for somebody who is a mother, she certainly seems to have a whole lot of time to herself. And I don't remember that, being a single mom at least. I don't remember having all that time to myself. But, it was past times, and, I don't know. I'm too old to understand. I don't know. Anyway, she's back with these ridiculous videos. I don't know how people can watch them because they're so silly. They're just silly. That's not real life. But that's what she's trying to push. This is it. So I guess she's trying to be an influencer / mommy blogger again. I have no idea. But she's gonna be a cockroach, everybody. She said that on a live, that she's not going away and she's gonna be like a cockroach and just bug everybody. Well, she's already doing that. So she has to do it even more now so that anybody cares or pays attention, because we really don't care. I mean, this whole morning video thing is I just find it stupid and insulting. I find it insulting because there are so many ladies out there with 1 kid or 2 kids or 5 kids who don't have a morning like that. And I feel like it's such a in the face. Like, well, I'm rich enough that I can do it. I can blend my own beans. And I have a fancy device that makes formula for my child. Well, that's great, but you should be feeding that child a lot more than just formula. It doesn't make any sense. Where's her in the kitchen with a hand blender blending strawberries and bananas as a nice little treat for her child? I mean, where's that video? Although, having said that, maybe it'll be coming up in a new video. I don't know. But where is Ken? Ken is still not in the video. You don't hear him. You don't see him. You have no idea if he's there or not. And Becca Scoops in her video pointed out the fact that in Bree's Live, where Gypsy was in, a recent one, another one, that Gypsy said she's no longer drinking anymore. She's done with that. She doesn't like the way it feels, blah, blah, blah. And that just fuels the whole idea that Ken could be in rehab. And, you know, maybe she did some things she shouldn't be doing. And that's why they decided as a couple, or at least as parents, that they're not going to drink anymore, which I think is a great idea. But it seemed to come out of left field, considering just like a week or two ago, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, she was out at the bars day drinking with a bunch of her friends on, I think it was Bree's Live again. So, you know, that was a few weeks ago, I don't know. But I guess all of a sudden, drinking is off limits now. No more day drinking, even though she seemed to be day drinking a whole heck of a lot. But yeah, I think it's a good idea not to drink, especially when you have a small child. My reasoning was always that in case there's an emergency, I want to be able to just get up, go and drive her to a hospital or to a doctor, or, you know, if there's an emergency, it's really good to just be able to get up and go and not say, oh shit, I'm really drunk. Maybe I need to call an Uber because they're never going to get there fast enough. So yeah, when my child was young, and even when she wasn't so young, I just didn't drink because I wanted to be available in case she needed me. So her not drinking is a good thing. I'm not against that. But the way that she emphasized it so heavily does make me wonder, you know, is Ken in some kind of rehab? Is it that she's not drinking so that, you know, he's trying to get off drinking and possibly some kind of substances, so she doesn't want, she's doing it too, you know, so that it's a better environment for him to stay clean? Because I don't think they thought of the baby at all. I don't think Aurora the baby was a thought. I think maybe they're doing this so that Aurora the baby, if she exists, can stay in the home, or they don't lose custody, or they don't permanently lose custody. There's always something like that. I don't know. Everything they do seems so suspicious. Everything. So now Gypsy is back. Is she back for the day? Or is she back permanently? She said she wants to keep bugging people by by being around and being online. So I guess, you know, being offline so that she can be with her daughter and respect her daughter's privacy. I guess that went out the window. That doesn't matter anymore, because she wants to bug all her haters by staying online and being visible online all the time. And, you know, pest control isn't going to be enough for her because she's just going to keep coming back. Well, goody for her. But the fact is, people are caring less and less. And once again, I care because of Aurora the baby. If she is real, then I want her to be safe. So if they're not doing any more possibly illegal substances, allegedly, or drinking, no more drinking, that's only just a benefit for Aurora. It seems like Aurora the baby. But even without those things, they need parenting classes. They need to learn how to be good parents because they haven't a clue. You can see that in the fact that they don't even know how to put Aurora the baby in her little baby seat in the car. they can't do something that's that simple. It's not hard to figure out. Heck, I figured it out just looking at a diagram. It's like, put baby's arms here, put baby's feet here, put the little snap thing right here. I mean, it's not that hard, but you have to actually look at it to figure it out. I don't know that they pay attention enough to Aurora the baby or not. They show Aurora in this little thing, sitting and playing with stuff. Is that Aurora? Who knows? Is that the neighbor's kid that maybe they were babysitting for an hour? Who knows? It could be any kid at this point. And honestly, I wish that it was someone else's kid and not theirs, because I don't think that Gypsy should have a child. I don't think that Ken should have a child. I think that if they want to be together and be idiots, fine, but leave children out of it. But here she, at some point in the past, she was talking about having a second child through surrogacy, which I think can be fantastic. I know Selena Spooky Boo just had her son through surrogacy, and I think that's amazing. She seems so happy, and her and Adam, I think they're a lovely couple, lovely people, and I'm so happy for them. In that case, I think it's a positive. I think that it was wonderful and amazing that it was available to them so that they could have a child, and maybe they'll have another. I don't know, but I think it's wonderful for them. For Gypsy and Ken, no. They're problematic people, at least. And they like to do their own thing, and there's nothing wrong with liking to do your own thing. But using your child as an accessory is not how you parent a child. You parent them. You're there for them, whether you want to or not, because a child is going to get sick and you have to take care of them. And a child might have an accident and spill, or have an accident in their pants, or there's so many things that aren't planned that happen with a child. Maybe they accidentally throw something down and break it into a million pieces. You got to go take care of it right there at that moment. Those are the things that you do as a parent. You have to be there for the child, because the child can't. The child can't be there for themselves. They don't even know what to do. Half the time they just stand there looking at what happened and cry because they literally don't know what to do. And I feel like Gypsy and Ken both would do the same thing. Something happens, they broke a dish, and they both look at it, and Gypsy cries and gets upset, and then Ken does, well, what do I do now? Call his mom, say, what do I do? A dish broke. Oh, clean it up. Okay. I mean, literally, that's how I see them. It is like they're children themselves. And if they want to better their lives, then they should go get parenting classes, learn the basics, so that people like myself aren't, in constant fear that baby Aurora is gonna, be hurt, be harmed, because they don't know what the hell they're doing. And it kind of blows my mind, because I didn't know what I was doing either. I didn't grow up. I was an only child, so I didn't have brothers or sisters. I never changed a diaper until I had my child. So what did I do? I read books, what to expect when you're expecting, what to expect the first year. I read through everything, made sure that I knew, not just how to do stuff, because it seems like it would be innate. You just kind of know, and I felt like I did for a lot of stuff. But, just things to look for when your child is sick. What do you do when they're sick? How do you do this? When to go to a doctor, when not to go to a doctor, when to go to a hospital, whatever. I tried to learn all these things. I read both those books cover to cover before my child was even born, because I was so concerned. And of course, I talked to my doctor, who was awesome. And if I had any questions, he was more than happy to answer them. But I did everything that I could to prepare. What did they do? You hear crickets? It doesn't matter if you're an adult or not. If you're not aware of what to do, you have to learn. I mean, I even read up to make sure that I knew when to feed my baby, how much to feed my baby, etc. I did that with the doctor as well, to make sure that I was getting the feeding times right, to make sure that she was hitting her milestones right. I mean, I did everything that I could to make sure that my child, especially in the first couple years, before my child went to school, I wanted to make sure that I was doing everything right, so that they would hit their milestones and so that they were healthy. I mean, that's a bottom line. I wanted my child to be healthy and happy and have a good, strong mind and learn stuff. And that's what you do. And I don't see them even paying attention to their child. Little baby Aurora just seems to be by herself in front of a screen all the time, or just, not doing anything. And I just don't understand it. Maybe they will do more like mommy or family style blogs. Maybe they will show her trying to take her first steps, or they showed Aurora the baby sitting up by herself, so that's something. Maybe they'll show more so that we don't have to constantly question everything. And the reason why we question is because she chose to go online with her life. Her work is social media, so she chose to show social media her life. Well, do you have to show every aspect of your life? No, you don't. But if you're going to be a mommy blogger, then talk about mommy things. Beyond, oh, I spent this much money to buy this, even though I had one, but I decided to get a different one. What does it have to do with being a mother? Buying stuff has nothing to do with being a mother. It just doesn't. She doesn't seem to get why people are annoyed and frustrated with her, or they just don't like her. Because you're not a real person. You are doing all the things, you're copying what other people are doing. You don't seem to be able to have your own personality or your own way of doing stuff. I mean, and I'll give an example. When my child was young, we talk about like Santa Claus and Hannah Claus, because, half and half. And we talk about all sorts of things, all the Easter Bunny and all that, the Tooth Fairy. But I felt like there was a spot missing for birthdays. So I started making up this little story with my child that I'd be like, oh, your birthday's coming up. And my child would be like, oh yeah, I'm so excited, And I'm like, oh yeah, I was talking to the birthday monster about it. And she's like, birthday monster? What are you talking about? And that became our own little tradition, the birthday monster. The birthday monster is just like, kind of a Santa Claus figure where you talk about the things that you want, and then the birthday monster decides if you've been a good person that year, that you'll get these things. You'll get some great birthday gifts. And was it silly? Of course. But it used to make my child giggle. my child would get so excited about the birthday monster. And I would even, make a card that said, happy birthday from the birthday monster. And it was just a fun little tradition that was ours. We had a fun little tradition of songs that I made up that we had fun with. We had, we do the traditional things, and we had our own traditions. And that's what made them special, and that's what made them fun. And I think most people do stuff like that. Whether it's calling SpaghettiOs sketty X's and O's, or, something stupid. I don't know. Nicknames for things. Like when she was little, my child didn't know how to say diaper, so she would say diapo. And I'd say, oh, go get the diapo. It's time to change. I never hear any of those things from Gypsy. And those things, are they like private little stories and things? Sure. But those are the fun things that you like to share. Where are they? She's doing all this influencer bullshit that you could find on like 100 million different channels. Everybody's doing that, I don't find them that interesting. Some people do, and that's fine. We all have our own taste. But where is the stuff that is just Gypsy? That is just Gypsy and her sweet little baby Aurora. Where are those videos? Don't have to show Aurora. Just, tell a story. Where are those? I still don't see those. Gypsy wants so desperately to be one of these influencers that people look up to and everything's perfect and lovely, when everyone knows it's not a reality. That's not something to aspire to. What is to aspire to is what is a lovely morning for you. It doesn't have to be aesthetically pleasing, unless that is part of you, part of your personality. But it's not about that. It's about just having a nice morning, reading a book, or watching something on YouTube while you have your breakfast. I don't know. This whole thing bugs me. I hate the fakiness of it. Oh, everything's perfect and beautiful. And then what do you see, 2 inches off camera is a big fucking mess that they never show. Because that isn't aesthetically pleasing. Ugh. I just hate that crap. Anyway, this was a ramble just because Gypsy is doing a video. Whoop-de-doo. I don't know. I don't really care anymore. I really don't. I just want to make sure Aurora's good. But I thought maybe you guys might be interested in it. Or interested in, my opinion. And you can tell me your opinion. We can talk about it. So honestly, which is kind of funny, talking about this murderer is more lighthearted than talking about some of the other things I've been talking about lately, which also include murder. Good Lord. The world is going to hell in a handbasket. But we can stop that, at least to some degree. We can live a good life. Anyway, thank you for listening. Please, any comments, please give them to me. I love to read them. I look forward to it every time I make a video, what you guys have to say. And with that, that's all I got to say.